Welcome back, Rage Nation. We are at it again. Got exciting news. Got the print-on-demand stuff finally shipped out and received. So we, as a test run to see how we liked all of the print-on-demand stuff and the services, I just decided to order a whole guild. I got its minor team, so we just got a little bit of everything. So we ended up doing engineers. So as you can see, we have the Ballista 6. We have the Pinvice 6, we have the miners here in the back, and then we even have the bench models over here, including Rivet. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna just take a quick look at these models, captains, mascots, squaddies, miner guild, and then just let you know what I think about them and let you know how they compare to the original. I did have this full guild back in the day, minus Nomad and Rivet. I never had those models, but I can definitely compare what the old models were compared to these ones. So I'll give you some good feedback on that. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get straight into it. All right, so we're gonna look at the box that comes with Ballista. So in this box, you end up getting Ballista, you get Ratchet, you get Salvo, get Velocity right here. You get the little mainspring, and of course you get the power fisting Colossus. You also get the engineer's ball and then the goalpost. So this is a really cool one. I really like the way it looks. The only thing that I'm not crazy about is the sculpt on Colossus, but it's better than the old one. The metal one, you had to glue the four legs together. It was a metal sculpt. You had to put him in the basket. His arms didn't want to stay on there. So it's nice that it is one at least now. I would have preferred the alt model, but at least it's better than the old metal one. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and take a look at these. I'll slide them off, look at them one by one. That way we can go ahead and just kind of see what you get in the whole box, okay? So one by one, let's take a look. So let's start with our Capitan. Well, before we get into the Captain, let's look at the ball. It's just this cool kind of like little engineer ball. Got gears in it. Looks like it kind of expands. Then we got our goalpost. I think this goalpost is actually pretty cool. And you can see the resin quality on this is pretty good. It is going to take some cleaning up, especially on the bottom of these, because if you look at the bottom of these, they actually catch if you want to try to slide them. I know you can't see it great, but you can see I can't slide this as easy. So on almost all these models, you're going to need to like file this down. So just kind of like a little heads up on that. And then see if I can see it on this one. I'll show you on the other models because I don't think this one actually came out pretty clean. But there's a lot of just some of these, you can kind of see it down here. But there's some like little resin strips that you just need to clean up. But all in all, really solid. This thing isn't going anywhere. Pretty smooth besides the bottom of these bases, okay? So we got the ball, got the goalpost. Let's look at the man, Ratchet himself. Not Ratchet, but Ballista, there we go. So looking at Ballista, you can see the details look really good on him. You can see that we have all these gears on his apron. You can see his facial features came out really good on this model. You can see the quivers. He just looks really good. It looks, this is pretty identical to what his metal model looked like. So no real update needed on this guy. But you can see they look pretty clean. There's a little gloss on this, so I'm curious how these are going to take a primer and how it's going to take paint. But that's going to be the next thing that I'll definitely share with the community as I paint these up. But he came out really good. You can see the same issue with the bottom. Need to file that down. But he turned out really good. So let's look at his mascot. Mainspring. Once again, so happy these are already, you know, just printed in one sculpt. These legs used to be a pain in the butt with the metal model. Just to give you an idea with the metal model, and these are solid, like these little legs, solid. They're not, I don't think they're going to break. I'm handling, I mean, you just saw me drop it, but I'm also handling him pretty strongly right now. But yeah, good quality on him. Happy I didn't have to glue them together because I did on the metal one and it was a pain in the butt. So little cockroach looks good. Then we got Ratchet. You can see his face needs a little cleaning up. Details look good on the apron. Good details on the face. The wood quality looks good on his backpack. So he definitely looks good. Also another good one. I know some people were asking questions about like, oh, how easy is it to take these off the bases? Since this was all printed as one, it's not going to be like the other ones where it's easy to take them off. If I was going to, like, if I wanted to put these on my own custom bases, I would basically cut around the feet, and then gradually I would shave up, because if you try to clip here at the foot, it's not going to end well. So I'm going to keep them on these. I'm not rebasing them because it is going to be a little bit of a chore for those of you that want to do it. Okay, then we got Salvo. Pretty solid. I mean, you can see he's got some give to him, but he's not going anywhere. Got this kind of end piece. It's not coming off, not bending easily. So pretty solid. With the metal one, these little pieces and the tips, I can't remember, one of these you had to glue, whether it was the tip or the bow of the crossbows, and it would break like all the time. So it was good that this is pretty solid. Lots of detail, looks really good. This one has, especially the back with the cleats, you can see kind of all the straps, buckles, a lot of good detail. Face looks really clean. Okay, then we got Velocity. This is a total repost. She used to have this slide stance and it didn't really look good. So they got kind of this sprinter stance and made her dynamic so she doesn't just look like just a weird kind of wood look to her. I actually like this a lot. A lot better than the other one. Kind of got like a feminine athlete kind of pose to her, so just really strong. And then we got the fist pumping Colossus man himself. You can see once again the detail looks really good on this. Not his best sculpt. There's a couple sculpts I think would have been interesting. You can see some of the resin over here that you'd need to clean up. Some kind of in these gears as well. But he looks really good. All this detail looks really clean. And like I said, solid. Like these aren't going to go anywhere. This used to fall off all the time, his little fists. These, once you got it glued, they would pop off. It was a tough model to really kind of assemble. So this is the one that it's like, yes, really good. You can see some resin right in there in the gaps. But this is the one that I'm like, yes, thank goodness I don't have to assemble this model. Really happy about that. Now we're going to take a look at Pinvice's 6. So this is Pinvice's models that you get when you order her box. Like I said, reasonable prices. We're going to look at them one by one and kind of see what we think of the sculpts. All right, so we have Pinvice. I like her new sculpt. Her other one used to be kind of weird. She was like in this kind of running position with her hair, and her hair was kind of flowing. And now we can kind of get more of this cloak vibe of her. The cloak's pretty solid. It's got a little bend to it, but it's not going to break or anything crazy. Only thing I would say about her is I'm not crazy about the detail on the face. I feel like that could be a little more prominent. I'm worried about the primer on that. So there's a lot of good detail here. It's a little light in the face. So I'm worried if the primer is too much, it might really take some of the details out of the face. So I'm a little worried about her, but generally speaking, I like the pose, the kind of confident walking, I'm just going to score or kill you, because that's kind of what she does. But I like it better than the old pose for sure. Then we got Mother. This came out really good. I think the detail on this is pretty much identical to the old one, except for it's obviously not metal. So I think this one came out really solid. You get the little spoders on there. You can see the detail of the metal on the claws and the head and the back. So it came out really good. And she comes with 3 of the web markers. I'm going to hold up all 3, but then we'll look at one just because they're basically the same. So you can see it's a cog. You got all these little metal spoders on them. So really good. Same thing on the bottom though. Now we got Vet Velocity. Now this sculpt is 100% better. I will say, in looking at it though, and I'll have to see if this is in the box. Just noticed one of her arms is AWOL. And I'm gonna look for that. I'm just like, hey, she's supposed to have 4 arms, I'm pretty sure. I'll look at the art. I don't think that's supposed to be missing, so I'm curious if while I was transporting this so just let you all know about this model. This is the one that, if you're not careful with, will break. Everything else is pretty solid, and it's the same thing when she was in metal. She breaks because of the arms. She has these 4 arms, and like I said, I don't think that one's supposed to be missing, but it is. It might be in the box over there. But then also these metal blades will break, because you can see I tested these out by bending these. Like I just gave them a little wiggle, but I gave it a little harder than that. And this one over here, you can see I had to re-glue because it actually bent to start to like crack a little bit. So I would say if you're an engineer player, be careful of these bits. And apparently her arm is missing too. So that's, which I don't mind, because, you know, Guild Ball's a violent game, things die. So she'll just reanimate and hopefully come back. But as far as the like way she looks, I think it's a lot cooler than the other one. I don't remember, she just seems a little more bulky than the other one. It's been a while since I've seen that though, so definitely cool model, but very fragile, so be careful with her. All right, then we got my man Hoist. He got a simple kind of like resculpt. Well, first off, they kind of put these legs together, and that's to put less pressure, I think, on this ankle bit, because he's pretty solid. He's got some bend to him, but he's not going anywhere. And I really like what they did with his hand. I don't remember the old one having this. I think this is a resculpt where it kind of shows a replication. That way, when you look at him compared to Velocity, you can tell there's a difference. He's a little bulkier. He's got these pauldrons on, but then he also has this kind of like shape shifting that he's doing, the replicating, which is really cool. So I really like the way they resculpted Hoist. Hopefully Hoist gets some cool rules to make him more interesting. He used to be busted though, back when he had like tough hide. That was pretty gross, but hopefully he gets some new rules. Then we got Locust. This model didn't really change, but it's just a cool sculpt. It's just this beefy, just punchy robot, gonna knock you down. Came out really good. You can see some areas that you need to clean up, but all in all, just really, really solid. Get your wood grain painting skills ready to go. You didn't skip arm day. Really like this model. And then another one of my favorite models is Compound, the alchemist slash engineer. You can see a little bit on the bottom of this vial. Came out a little weird. You can see what needs to be cleaned up by his cleat. I always liked Compound though, just because he's a fat guy, but then also he just looks like he just has an angry mask on. Like why his mask shows his eyebrows is kind of comical to me. But I really like Compound. And the model's cool. Came out great. Didn't need a resculpt. All right, and now we have the Engineers Miner Guild, the miners. So you can see you got the team, you got Spade over here, Shaft, got Digger, cool little tank ball, got whatever his name is, I can't remember, old Iron Legs himself, got Mule, and then you got Fissure. So, and you got a cool goalpost. So let's take a look at this stuff one by one, and we'll give you thoughts. So first thing that we have is the goalpost. Looks pretty similar to the goalpost that they had in the original resin box. You can see the quality, just got rocks, got a ball in there, and it's on a cart. Really simple goal, but it's fun. I like this goal a lot. Reminisce of like the Raleigh warm-up when I played Miners, so really cool. Then we got our awesome little ball, little tank, a little drill on it. You gotta clean that up a little bit, but it's fun. I like this ball. This ball, good memories. All right, then we got the boss man himself, Shaft. Once again, you can see a little bit of the cleanup that you got to do. But really, it's not horrible. It's not like, you know, other things where you got mold lines and you got these clips that you got to fix up. Got a good detail, dents on the mining tool, pickaxe. Got his iron arm. Came out really good. I like this one. You can see the scar pretty clear, which, if I remember right, the old resin, the scar was a little harder to kind of like identify on the model just because of the quality. This resin's definitely better than the original box. All right, then we got Digger, our mole with the goggles. Really simple mascot, really fun. I like Digger a lot. He's really cool. Cool on the pitch, cool to see painted up. Simple, simple. All right, I'm going to leave those two models for last because I got things to say about them. You got Mule. Mule's a lot cleaner than the other resin that it used to be printed off in. Really cool metal details. You got this kind of furnace look to him. You got a little candle in his belly. Good for throwing models off the pitch. I like Mule a lot. I always bring him just because he's awesome. Okay. Then we got Junkrat. I can't remember his real name in the game. I feel like it's Fuse. Fuse might be right. So he is the one that breaks the most, right? So we got this little belt thing, which seems pretty durable. Got his legs. They bulk these up a little bit, I feel like, because he's not as springy. Like, giving him some bend there. Pretty decent. Seems solid. Like, I push on them. They don't give a lot. So I think they did a good job reinforcing whatever they did on this model. Just to make them less likely to break. Because the old resin, he did break. All right, then we got probably the best model in the Miner Guild, Spade. I think they bulked up her ankle a little bit, bending her, not going too much anywhere. The thing that I think is a little messed up on this sculpt is if you look at the shovel, I'm not sure, I can't remember if the shovel was damaged purposefully, like for the sculpt, or if this is from printing. But when I turn it on the back, and I kind of look at it, there's kind of like a, I don't know, some kind of like it tried to get cleaned up or something there. So it makes me think that maybe this isn't the way that's supposed to look. It doesn't hurt any though, because they're, you know, dirty miners. So she came out really good. I like her. Even with the jacked up shovel, you know, sometimes you hit people with it, it's gonna damage. You gotta clean up your tools and make sure they're good to go. Good detail though on the hammer there. Just pretty clean and noticeable of everything. All right, the last model is Fissure. So this is the one I want to talk about because I post pictures kind of like in the beginning of this video just so you can kind of see how things came in. And actually, I probably didn't. I'm going to put them right here so you can see how they came in. They came in these boxes, and then in the boxes they were wrapped in bubble wrap, and it was pretty good. But when I took her out of the box, I started pulling her out, and I noticed kind of like a substance, right? Like, not glue, but something like, some kind of thing like that, where it's like, okay, it was on the bottom of her base, it was on the bottom here. And I was like, what is going on here? And then when I turned her over, so first off, when you look at kind of just the details of it, she looks good. She looks a lot like her other one. That's fine. I like it. But like I said, there was a substance on the bottom, and what it was is resin. Because if you look at the bottom, this is a chunky model. So I suspect since this is probably the chunkiest model that they actually print, and this is one sculpt, not like the other one, you had to glue this, the top, her, and the tracks together. So it didn't have this problem. But what they did, because they printed it all at once, it was probably having difficulties like settling or whatever the process is with resin. So what they did is they drilled holes in the bottom of this. And you can kind of see it a little bit, and you might even be able to see where it doesn't yet look like it's dried. Because I suspect, and I put it in the sun, and I'm probably going to leave it in the sun in my nerd room probably for a few days just to try and get this to settle a bit. And if it doesn't, I got a guy with a printer that can probably help me with it. But they drilled this to probably try to get some air into here to get the resin to solidify. And it is a really solid model. Like that's not going anywhere, right? Don't bash your models, kids. That's just me being a content creator. But you can kind of still look. I don't know if it's a shine or if there's still some in there that's settling, but I'm going to let this sit before I even mess with it anymore. And if it still doesn't kind of seem that way, I'm going to, like I said, have my friend try to get a UV light to try to finish drying that up. I haven't noticed any more coming out of it. I think it was just while it was shipping, but just something to know with this model specifically. I didn't see any issue with Colossus. There wasn't any issue with the goalpost. There wasn't any issue with Mule. So this is just this model that I noticed that issue with. And like I said, the model's not damaged. It's not hurting anything as far as I can tell with this like solidity of it. Like it feels pretty solid. Like this isn't going anywhere. Like it's not bending, warping or anything like that. But I just want to make sure that there's no loose resin coming out of this, you know, so that way I don't die from, you know, licking my model or something. So that's the only negative thing that I had to say is just with this model, that was kind of like, and it's not even really that big of a negative. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's a chunky model. Had a little bit, you know, got to clean it up because now like this is very like sticky. Like I shouldn't say sticky, but it's, you know, got that residue on it now. So now I got to, you know, get that off. I got to wash my hands and all that stuff. So, you know, I don't die tonight, but it looks really good. I like the look of it. It looks cleaner than the original. I think the original, I just didn't even put her up there. I just straight up just closed the hatch and just had this tank rolling around like that. Actually, no, I forgot. What I did is I did close this up, but I actually took it off its base and I had it like coming out of the earth like this. And I put like dirt and rocks around it. That was pretty sick. I remember doing that. Okay. So, all right, we got our bench models. So this is the last 3 bench that you got to get for the full guild. Almost forgot about them, but here they are. So give you a quick close-up of these. So we have Rivet. So she's got this cool, like, yeah, we can do it look to her from like the World War II posters. I didn't play her, so I'm excited to get her on the pitch. Sculpt looks really cool, though. No complaints here. I think that Sculpt's really good. Got Harry the Hat. I did play with her. She was kind of fun. Sucker Punch is always fun. Really excited to get her back on the pitch. I feel like they changed her sculpt a little bit, though. I feel like the wrench used to be different. I might be wrong there, but I like the way she looks, though. Very, Harry would be proud. And then the model I have 0 experience with as well is Nomad. So I'm excited to get him on the pitch. He's got these cool kind of like robot, like, or hydraulic legs that he attached to himself. Got all these tools, got a little power belt going there. Got this cool little wrench hand thing that he's got going on. Got this smug goggle look going on. So smudged. Look at me, so smudge looking. I like it. Really solid model, though. All right, let's get a look at the whole guild. All right, so we got the whole guild here. So overall, I'm really happy with the models. They seem very sturdy. They seem very well printed. They're pretty well together. I would recommend if you're getting into Guild Ball, I don't think there's any reason not to go this way, unless you have somebody who's just a summer sale. I just want to get rid of these models and they're selling it to you cheap, then great, because you'll get them right away. That's the only negative thing I'll say about this is right now you do have to wait about 3 to 4 weeks to get these. I think it was right on the nose 4 weeks for me. I ordered this the day that they offered the print on demand, and I got it right at 4 weeks. But didn't seem rushed. Got it. I got Brewers coming next, so I suspect it'll be about 4 weeks exactly when I get them. So the quality is really good. The price is really good too. I mean, for both 6-man boxes that I got, the bench models and the minor guild, I think total it was like, I want to say $160 maybe. That included shipping. So really good deal, especially compared to the price you had to pay to find this stuff, and you couldn't find it anywhere. So now that you can print on demand, really good option. Like I said, the 6-man teams are like $40. The minors, they were a little more because they got bigger models, so that was like 60 some bucks, and then you pay like 20 for these 3 models over here. So I'm really happy with it. I would definitely do it again. I'd recommend it to people because it's cheap, efficient to get the models that you want in this game, and you can get them reliably now. You just got to wait a little bit for it to, you know, get through customs and all that other stuff. But once you got it, they're great. So I haven't seen anybody else having issues with models they have. So I would definitely recommend it. And if you're wanting to get into Guild Ball, look at the sculpts that you like, read up on what guilds you think look cool, and then you can get them on pitch. So the cool thing is you can get new players into the game now with these models. I would like to hopefully see maybe getting these packaged up and having stores being able to buy them and sell them. Because if we can get quicker turnaround on like, hey, yeah, here's a, you know, team in the store you can buy, that's how we can really expand this game. So I'm hoping that down the road we can get that, but you know, we got to see if people want to play the game again. And if you want the print on demand stuff, I'd give it 2 thumbs up. I'd probably give them like out of quality, like a 9 out of 10. There's some issues with them, some cleaning up you got to do, but the fact that you don't have to assemble them, they come bubble wrapped and pretty safe and secure. And the only issue I saw was fissure. That was the big issue. And even then, she's still sculpted really well. And I'm just hoping that it's cured so that way I don't, you know, I don't die, but that's great. Yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you're getting a print on demand. If you have pictures, definitely share them with us. You can do that on our Discord. You can do it on Twitter. You can tell us about it on the comments and YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. That way we can get more video content out for y'all, because the more people enjoy video content, the more I'll produce it. So that's just generally the way that I do things, is if people want it, I'll make more of it. If you don't, then I won't. But if you want to support us directly, do that through patreon.com/RageQuitWire. Any support's great. We're putting out at least probably at least 1 Guild Ball content a month, if not more than that, depending on just content, what we can put out. We are primarily Malifaux, so check out our Malifaux content too if you like that. So until next time though, make sure that you guys are flipping cards, flipping tables, or in this case, playing Guild Ball, rolling dice and throwing salt. We'll see y'all later.